is the RF basic optimization, but I don't think our training is basic. I don't think it's a basic. I think it's advanced. So almost half of you have already taken some trainings. So how about the others? Do you before have already attended some ZTE trainings or other trainings for the radio parameters or the basic principles? Another is the parameters. The parameters is the radio parameters, and another is the TDD and the FDD, multiple working. Yeah, we know the CDMA network. Both data and voice are included in the LTE network. We have TDD and FDD. So especially for the handover, for the cell selection, and the other strategies for TDD and FDD. And another is 5G. Okay. In my class, you can interrupt me anytime. If you have any question, you can tell me. Yeah. You know, in our network we define many protocols because we have different identity in the wireless, in the U-turn side, and in the core network side, and also for the VoLTE we have the IMS side, the IMS domain. So if we want to communicate in two sides, in the maybe one for inode B, one for MME. If we want to communicate, we need to define a protocol, even in the UE side and in the inode B side, because we have many different manufacturers. The different manufacturers, they have different hardware. So if we don't define a same protocol, they cannot work together. That's like the cell phone you use. Maybe it's the ZTE, maybe it's Huawei, maybe it's Oppo, maybe it's Xiaomi, maybe it's the iPhone, right? So we have many different kinds of cell phone. And for the inode B side, we have the BPU and RU. We also have many different kind of manufacturers. Yeah, the vendors maybe ZTE, maybe Nokia, maybe Ericsson, maybe Huawei, right? So for different kind of cell phones with different kind of BPU and RU, we need to communicate together. Yeah, so we need to define the protocol. So for the wireless side, we usually talk about the area interface that is between the UE and the inode B, because the area interface is very, very difficult. We cannot sync it. We cannot see it, we cannot feel it, right? So it's very fast to that network. Yeah. So I think this is your cell phone, right? Actually, the destination is not in node B. The destination is EPC side, right? Because the EPC domain is the control domain. The inode B side is just we think is just deliver the message to the EPC and deliver the message to the UE. So it's just a transmitter. It's not a controller. So the controller is the EPC side. So this is our UE. So if the UE wants register in the EPC side, if it wants register in MME, it must by the inode B. They cannot access directly, right? So here we have the inode B. So if the UE wants access to the MME, want to register on MME, so the first is that we get this connection between UE and the inode B. So this connection, we call it the air interface. Yes, this is the air interface. We also name it UU. And also maybe we will name it X1. Maybe X1, maybe UU. Yeah, this is the error interface. So we need first get this connection. So for the UE and the inode B side, it also should have the control. So this control is the RC control, right? It's RC, the radio resource control. They also have the control. So we usually call this connection is the RC connection. But the inode B should transmit the message to the MME side. So between inode B and the MME, this interface, we name it S1. Between inode B to EPC side, we name it S1. But we know in our network, in LTE network, we separate the control plane and the user plane. So for the control plane, it's MME. We name this interface is S1 MME, right? So it will send messages by the S1 MME interface. So for this interface, we name it, for this connection, we name it S1 connection. We name it S1 connection. So actually, the destination is the MME. If we want to register on the network, right? It's the destination is MME. So the UE connect with the inode B directly. This message, if the inode B can read it, that means this is one AS. The access straighter message is the AS message. And also we have some messages. The inode B cannot read it. The message is only for the MME. So for that message, we name it NAS, non-access straighter. Yes, like this. So the message, the UE send out, the UE transmit, it contains two parts. It has two parts. One is the AS message, another is the NAS message. So if we transmit an AS message, we need to create the RC connection. If we want to transmit a NAS information, a NAS message, we should first create the RC connection and then we create the S1 connection. So NAS connection, it contains two parts. The NAS connection is the RC and the S1. Yeah, so if you port on, if you register on the MME, so the UE first send a message to inode B to create the RC connection. And the inode B sends the S1 connection request to MME to create the S1 connection. So after that, we register on MME. But this is only the control plane, right? If we want to service, for example, to transmit some messages by the you don't use WeChat. I want to say the WeChat. Yeah, like this. Yeah, you will send some message, and maybe you will download some videos. You want to see some videos like this. So we need to create the user plane. So for the user plane, in the EPC side, it's the SGW and the PGW. We have many different APN, right? So if you go to internet, we will go to internet APN. If you want to make a voice call, it's the RMS APN, right? We have different APN, but from the wireless side, different APN, we don't consider it because for the wireless side, all of them are the data. It's just for different data, right? So we need to create the barrier for the service, for the data service. Okay. So here it likes If we register on the MME, it will create the barrier. The barrier is between UE and the node B and SGW to P. Right? So in node B, between the node B and SGW, this surface interface we name is S1U because it's for user plan. And between SGW to PGW is S5 and S8. So maybe it's connected with the internet. Maybe it's connected with the IMS domain, right? For different destination. So if we just surf online, we just access the internet. So we will first create one default barrier. Create one default barrier from UE to node B to SGW to PGW to internet. This is the first barrier we create. Yeah. If we want to make a voice call, we need to register on MS. So we also need to create a barrier to MS. So this is another barrier. So we need to transmit the IMS signaling. And after that, if we want to do the voice service, we also need to create a barrier to transmit the IMS, the voice data, right? So for different APN, we need to create different barrier, right? We need to create different barrier. So this is our network structure. So from the structure, you should know, because in our network, when we especially sometimes we will solve some problems about the wireless, but especially for IMS, especially for the VoLTE service, we know the VoLTE service is a comprehensive service. It involves the UE, involves the node B, involves the EPC and MS. But if there is a complaint, it must the first arrived at the wireless department, right? You should solve the problem. You should know which one is wrong. So you should know the structure first. And the structure, it will help you solve many problems. For example, if you want to solve one access KPI, one access problem, so you will know the procedure. You should know the procedure. If you want to to solve a handover problem, you also should know the structure. So for handover, we will have many different node B. So for the different node B, they will have an interface. This interface we name is X2, right? So if we have X2 interface, this interface is a logical interface, right? We need to configure it. So if we have this interface for the handover, it can be based on the X2. But if we don't have the X2 interface, okay, if we want handover to another node B, these two node B, they cannot communicate directly. Okay, they should buy the MME to transmit the message. So it's based on the S1. So the structure is basic. So all the problems you find in your network, before you should, first think about the network structure. Yeah, so this is in our network. So in the structure, now we only talk about the R interface. So we have already introduced what is access straight term and what is non-access straight term, right? So for the network structure, we have the control plane and the user plane. In EPC side, we separate it because in the EPC side, the control plane and the user plane, we use different entity. For control plane, we use MME. For user plane, we use SGW. So for the R interface, even we use the same hardware, we need separate define the protocol, right? So the protocol will also separate define the control plane and the user plane. So for the control plane, we know the control plane is from UE to MME side. So because it's from UE to MME, so it should contain two parts. One is the AS, one is the NAS, right? So for the NAS, it's between the UE and MME directly. So in the control plane protocol, it totally has two parts. One is the NAS, another is the AS. So the NAS is only contained in the UE side and the MME side. The Node B side, we don't have the NAS. We don't have the NAS protocol. So the Node B side, we cannot read the NAS signaling. Right? Yeah, from this picture, you can read some information. I hope you can learn how to read the double rays. From the double rays, you can learn something. You can read something. Just read something, not I talk to you. You can find it in the picture by yourself. Yeah, from this picture, we see that the NAS is only contained in the UE and the MME. The Node B doesn't have it, so the Node B cannot read the NAS signaling. Right? But if the UE want to transmit a NAS signaling, it should go through the RC, PDCP, symbolic layer, and physical layer. Right? Just Node B, it will not process it. It will not read it. It will not process it. But it needs transmit by the Node B. Right? Because this is the highest. So if we want to transmit one NAS message, it should go through the lower messages, the lower protocols. Yeah, so the NAS layer is the highest. Right? Is the highest. So this layer is between LE and MME. And after that, the next is the AS. The AS we see in the UE side and in Node B side, the protocol are same. That means if we want to transmit a message from the UE side, it will go through the RC, PDCP, RC, MAC, physical layer. And the Node B side, it will do the reverse process. Right? It will do the reverse process. Yeah, in the RC side, if we transmit a signaling, yeah, it's a control signaling. And PDCP, maybe we will to safeguard it, give it integrity protection. And in the Node B side, we will do the reverse process. So it will decipher it, right? Like this. It's a reverse. And in the RC, maybe we will assemble it. So in the RC, in the Node B side, we will reassemble it. So from the picture, you can read, for the protocol we defined in two entities, it should be same. And the hair layer, if we want to transmit a hair layer information, it should go through the lower layer. So this is the control plane. The control plane, it have the signaling have two kinds. One is NAS, one is AS. Okay, this is the control plane. So for the NAS signaling, it's contained in the MME side. So the NAS function is the MME function. We know the MME is the control entity. Yeah, the MME. From the name, we can know it. The MME name is mobility. Yeah, it's a mobility. The first arm is mobility. So it should control the UE mobility. But for this mobility management, is not the UE RC connected mobility. It's the UE in idle state mobility. For the UE, we have two states. One is the RC connected state. Another is the RC idle state, right? So for the mobility, we also have two kinds. One is connected. One is the RC idle state mobility. So for the connected state, mobility is handover. It's handover. So for handover, it's controlled in the inode B side, in the RC. In the RC layer, it will control it. In the idle side, in the idle state, we have the cell reselection. In the cell reselection under the TAO, the track error update. So for the cell reselection, it's the UE decided. The UE decides which cell I will reselect, which cell I will reselect. So for the cell reselection, it's controlled by UE itself. For the TAU, this part is decided by the MME. Here, decided by the inode B. So this is a mobility, different mobility control. So when you see the mobility management in MME side, you should know this mobility management is talk about this. Is talk about the TAO, the tracking error update, And another is the security control. We know before we register on MME, we should first do the security control and authentication. That is true. We first guarantee this UE is a normal UE. So we will do the first one. And after that, we should guarantee the NAS signaling is protected. So this is a security control. So this two. And another is the paging origination. So here is our network structure. Yeah. When we talk about the LTE network, when we talk about the SDW, we will say that the SDW is the LTE network anchor. It's our anchor. When we talk about it's our anchor, that means the data it will arrive here. All data it can be arrived here, right? So that's the anchor meaning. It can arrive here. But from here, from the SDW to inode B, it should detect whether we have the S1U barrier, whether it has the S1 barrier, right? So now if we want, so this is UE1, and we have a UE2. So if you want to transmit a message to the UE2, from UE1 to the UE2, okay, we will transmit the message. If the UE1 is at the idle state, okay, it first establish the connection, right? After that, it will recover the barrier. So when it recovers the barrier, it will send the data. This is the right one. Okay. So the data flow is that if the UE1 is idle state and the UE2 is also idle state, okay, from UE1 to the send a message to the UE2, send a data to the UE2, okay, the UE1 as idle state, right? So it should first create this connection, right? And to recover the barrier. So when it recovers the barrier, it will send the data. Okay, this is the data. We will send it to inode B. Inode B will send it to the SDW. SDW, arrived at SDW. It will find the UE2's PGW, right? From the UE1 SDW to S1. To the UE1 PGW, it will find the UE2 PGW. Maybe they are same, maybe they are different, right? Maybe they are same, maybe they are different. Okay, this PGW, it will find the SGW. it will find the STW. We know if a UE have already registered on the network, it established the barrier. It have already created the barrier. We know the default barrier. It will always exist in the network. We will not release all the barriers. The barrier from the UE1 to the internet, this barrier we call it end-to-end barrier. But from the STW to the internet, we always keep it. We don't release it. We only release the barrier from the UE to the STW. We only release this one. So when we in the idle state, if we change to the connected state, we will recover this part. So now the UE2 is the idle state. That means this path is have already released, right? So from the STW, it cannot find the UE2 in node B. It cannot find it directly because it's released. So how to find it? Yeah, for paging. So for paging is that the paging is MME function. Okay, a data have arrived at STW. It will notify the MME. Okay, I have a data for which in node B. You should paging for it. Okay, so it will notify MME, and the MME now it will send a paging. This paging is for this UE2. Okay, so the paging is initiated by MME side. So that is the paging origination. Yeah, it's initiated by MME. So the paging received by node B, it will send the paging to the UE2. So when the UE2 received the paging, it will send the service request. Right? Okay, I recover this barrier. Then the SGW will transmit the message to the UE2. Okay, they can communicate to each other. Yeah, this is the procedure. So if a UE at the idle state, but if he wants to receive some data, it should first receive a paging. This paging is come from the MME. So this is the next layer function. So for the ARs, the control function is in the RC. So for the broadcast, for the paging, we know the MME will transmit the paging to node B. So node B also will transmit the paging. To the UE side, right? It will transmit the paging. And for the link measurement, the node B, it should measure the RC connection, right? It should measure the RC connection. So it has a link measurement. And for the wireless barrier control, is for this. For the wireless barrier control, is in node B side. And for others, is controlled by the MME. Yeah. This is the wireless barrier control. And here it also have a mobility measurement. So this mobility measurement is for the handover. And like this. It's for the handover. Yeah, before we have already talked about the mobility. The mobility it has three kinds. The handover, reselection, and TAO. For MME, for the next layer, the mobility measurement we talk about is TAO. In the node B side, the RC layer also have the function mobility measurement. This is for the handover. Yes. It's different. These two measurements are different. And another is UE measurement reporting and control. Yeah, before we perform the handover, the UE should first report the measurement, whether it can hand over or not. Right? So the UE measurement report and the control. Yeah, the node B control the UE, when to report and how to report. Yeah, this is the RC layer. Yeah, just our signalings. All the signalings from the RC layer. And after that, if we have one RC signaling, it will first arrive the PDCP. The PDCP In the control layer, it has two functions. PDCP, signaling from RC to the PDCP, we know the signaling is the control information. It's very, very important, right? It's very important. We cannot modify it. If someone get it from the air interface, maybe it will modify it. So in order to guarantee its integrity, so we will give it integrity protection. So we guarantee no one can modify it. So this is the integrity protection and the encryption. This is for the control plane. Only for the signaling, it will perform the integrity protection. For data, we don't perform this. Okay, this is a PDCP. So for the RC signaling, it first arrived at PDCP. PDCP will give it integrity and sovereign protection. And after that, it will arrive at the RC. So the next from the RC and the mic layer and physical layer. These three layers, the function are same in the user plane and the control plane, the next three. In the control plane and the user plane, the PDCP and RC are different because in the user plane, we don't have the RC. Because for the RC, the last letter is for the control. It's short for the control. So in the user plane, we don't need the control information. So it first arrived at PDCP. But for PDCP, the functions are different with the control layer. Okay, we say again, in the control layer is integrity and encryption protection. But for the user plane, the PDCP, it only has the encryption. It doesn't have the integrity protection. And it also have another function is the header compression. The header compression. What is header compression? We know the data arrived at PDCP. Before data arrived at PDCP, it will be processed by the apps. Maybe you are used WhatsApp. Yeah, the WhatsApp for this app, it will first process the data. It will add some headers, and we know in VoLTE, the codecs, the voice streams, the codecs will first sampling the codecs, and after that we use the UDP, we use the TCP, UDP, IP, and then it arrived at the PDCP. So before it arrived at PDCP, it have already processed for the different apps. So it have already added some headers. Maybe this header is very, very long. Maybe it's longer than the useful data. So if at this occasion, we need to compress it. We need to perform the header compression. Yeah, this is the user plane. So if we use the header compression, we can save the resource. Yes, we can save the resource. Then we can enhance the capacity. Yeah. So in VoLTE, we will use header compression because for the data voice, for the data service and the voice service, they are different. For data service, usually the data volume is very large. So the header compared with the data volume, the header is very short. Don't consider it. But for the voice, we will every 20 milliseconds, we will get a data packet. And this data packet, the volume is very small. We can calculate it. So the header is longer than the voice. Yeah, actually the voice is only maybe 32 bytes, but the header it has 40 bytes. Yeah, the header is longer than the data. So it will waste money resources. Yeah, half resources will be wasted. So in the VoLTE, in order to enhance the capacity, to enhance the resource usage, we will use the header compression. But in the normal data service, yeah, the data volume is very large. We don't need to use the header compression. This is the header compression. Header compression in the PDCP layer. And in the RC, for both control plane and user plane, the functions they are same. It will transmit the upper layer PDU to the lower layer. Yeah, the every layer, it will have a function that it will transmit the upper layer messages to the lower layer. Yeah, the first. Another is that for the RC, it have an ACK. That is the acknowledgement. Yeah, we can give it acknowledgement when we transmit in the RC layer. We will have an ACK. And for the packet arrived at RC, we need transmit it to the MAC layer. But how to transmit? We need according to the resource. The resource is scheduled by the MAC layer. So that is, the MAC layer will tell the RC how many resources you can use. So the data. Okay, now this is the data from the app. Well, we think this is a data from the app. It first arrived at the PDCP, right? So arrived at PDCP. The PDCP will process it, and after that, it will add a PDCP header. Right? It will add a PDCP header. And then it will arrive at the RRC. This is the data arrived at the RRC. And this is the data arrived RRC. The RRC will add a header. Okay, this is RRC will add a header. And the resource is defined by the MAC layer. Okay, the MAC layer will report how many resources you have. Okay, the MAC layer site. The resource size is like this. Now the RC layer, the size is greater than the MAC layer give it. Yeah, we only have this. So how to do? We need perform the segment. Yeah. So this is the total. This is the total size, total data size. Okay, we perform the segmentation. We will perform the segmentation. Yeah, according to the size the MAC layer reports to it. Okay, maybe it should like this. Yeah, so maybe this is the, we name it the part 1. This is part 2. This is part 3. Yeah. So we need to perform the, yeah, this is part 1. Okay, we only have this size, the resource. Okay, this is part 1. We need to segment it. We need to perform the segmentation. So this is the total size. So when it arrived at the inode B side, it should perform the reassembly, right? It should perform the reassembly. This is because in the UE side, we perform the segmentation. The total data, we divide it into 3 parts. We transmit it separately. So in the inode B side, we should reassemble it. Right? So maybe, so this is the MAC layer report. This MAC layer report. So maybe it give it a larger resource. It maybe give it a larger resource. Okay, this one is shorter than the resource, so we can put it directly. So this we don't need divide it. Yeah, we can perform this directly. So this is the RC here like this. So we also have some rest resource. So this is access only one data. Maybe we have others, we have another one, right? So we have the rest resource. We can divide another to locate it here. So this is the RC function. Yeah, the RC function. So it will according to the MAC layer resource to perform the packages. So how to perform the segmentation or reassemble or others? It will according to the MAC layer. So the MAC layer is the core layer. It's a key layer because it defines how many resource it will schedule. So for the MAC layer, its key function is scheduling. Scheduling. And another is hack. In the RC, we have one acknowledgement, is hack. But in the MAC layer, the function is different, it's hack. It's hybrid hack. They are different.
Sorry. During the mechanic process, this is included in the system or this only in user plane? This process, we discussed including NAS signal or AS signaling, or this only for user plane, because we still confused. Before we discuss regarding AS signaling,
Okay, I know.
but can you, this is a user plane. This is different because in NAS signaling and user plane, I think it's different.
Yeah, I know your problem. Okay, so for this process I talk about is a common process. It's a common process. But for the AS signaling and the NAS signaling, it will have some difference. So the difference we will talk about later, because now we just talk about the common process. But for NAS signaling, maybe it just goes through the PDCP, goes through the RC, but we don't process it. And for the RC signaling, the AS, the signaling will have many different kinds. We have the broadcast, we have the paging, we have the common signaling, and we have the deprecated signaling. For different signaling, the process are different. Now we just talk about the common. And after that, we will talk about different signaling, the different process. Okay? So this is, we just talk about this layer, the common functions. It totally has so many functions. But for different signaling, it may be use different function. Okay? So for the MAC layer, it has the scheduling and the hack. And another is the priority management of logical channels. Yeah. So what is logical channels? We will talk about later. And what is the priority? We will talk about later. And another is it will mapping from the logic channels to the transport channels. Yeah, this is the channels. The channels we will talk about in the basic layer. And it will perform the multiplexing and the demultiplexing of the RC PDU. Yeah, this is for the layer function. And for the RC layer function and the MAC layer function and even the physical layer function, they are same in the user plane and the control plane. The RC layer, MAC layer, and the physical layer. the functions, they are same in the user plane and the control plane. But for different signaling and different data, maybe we use different atoms. Maybe we will use different atoms. Okay, here is just a basic introduction.
Question. In this signaling process, there is a receiving and a make and receive talk.
Here, the
Yes.
signaling.
Okay. During the process, the first will be the NAS signaling,
Mm-hmm.
and then AS signaling.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
About the signaling, the first NAS signaling of these goods together, NAS and AS will be sent to the UA to this MMP and this UNP.
The side the NAS signaling. Yeah, the NAS signaling is between the UE and the MME. Yeah, the AS signaling is between the UE and the inode B side. But if we want to transmit the NAS signaling, it must go through the inode B. But the inode B will not process it. It will not process it.
Yes. And
Yeah, it's just go through. The inode B receive it and transmit it. But it will not process it, not read it. It cannot read it because it doesn't have the NAS layer. Yeah, just like this, we can,
sorry, my question is, yes, I know this NAS signaling not processed in UP. My question is, between NAS and AS, UE will send together in same time, yeah, or the first UE send NAS success and then UE then send AS.
yeah, I know. But for the NAS signaling and AS signaling, when to transmit it is decided by the UE. Okay, maybe here we arrived at a NAS signaling. Okay, I'll give you one example like this. Okay, the pens you go back the test is not this. Okay, I'll give you a diagram. It will be clear. And tomorrow we will talk about the signaling. Outside you will very clear. First we can simply introduce it. Yeah, this is the NAS layer, right? For example, we have a NAS signaling. The NAS signal. If there is one attached request, if we want to transmit this attached request, okay, it will first go through which layer? RC. RC will not process it, but it should go through, right? So because it should arrive in node B. So that means it will first detect whether there is a valid RC connection. Whether there is a valid RC connection. If we don't have the RC connection, we cannot transmit it, right? We cannot transmit it. So it first arrived RC and detect whether there is a valid RC connection. Yeah. So actually, if we transmit the attached request, that means the UE is in the idle state. Even the UE is attached, right? So there is no RC connection. So there is a message arrived at RC, but there is no RC. So the RC should first send a request. We first create the RC connection, right? So the RC will transmit the RC connection request, right? But if we want to transmit the RC connection request before we transmit before we need a guarantee the UE and the inode B, they are synchronized. If they don't get synchronized, we cannot transmit the RC connection request. So for the uplink synchronization is performed by the random access, right? So here it will trigger one random access procedure. Attach request, it will trigger the RC connection request. RC connection request, it will trigger the random access. I first write it. Like this. The is decided by the MAC layer. So it will trigger the high layer will trigger the low layer. So the RC, it will trigger the MAC layer. It will trigger the MAC layer. You should perform the random access procedure first, right? So okay, the RC layer triggers the MAC layer, perform the random access. So the MAC layer initiates a random access procedure. This random access procedure is that the physical layer, the MAC layer will send a command to physical layer. You should transmit a random access preamble, right? Okay. Now it transmits a preamble, right? They will transmit a preamble. So you see, for when to transmit the NAS layer signaling and when to transmit the RC layer signaling is according to the different service and the different procedure. For attach request, okay, the NAS layer, it will trigger one RC. When the RC is finished, then we can transmit the NAS layer. Now can you understand it? Okay. Okay. For the exact signaling procedure, when we talk about the signaling, we can see it in detail. Now we just introduce it briefly. Okay. Now, anyone have other questions?
So the first is in this NAS.
Yeah, we have a NAS. The NAS, it will trigger RC. Yeah, this is a NAS triggered. But usually we don't have NAS. We just transmit an RC. For example, we send a page. We send the page is that from the Inopi side. Okay, we don't have NAS, right? But to transmit a page. So if we transmit a signaling only between the Inopi side and the UE side, okay, this signaling, it will transmit RC, it will trigger by RC directly. RC will generate a signaling and it will go through the low layers. But if we want to transmit a NAS layer, this NAS layer, it will trigger the RC layer. It will trigger it first. That means every time we want to transmit a NAS signaling, we should first guarantee the RC and the S1 connection have already created. Now, if this example is we don't have the RC connection and the S1 connection, but if we have already have the RC connection, if we have already have the RC connection and the S1 connection, for example, the NAS layer, we have one TAU. Is the TAU, the tracking error update. We know the tracking error update, it will perform in the idle state and also in the connected state, right? Yeah, because the periodic TAU, we will have a timer. If the timer expires, we will perform the TAU. So maybe the timer expires the UE at the connected state. So if the UE at connected state, we have already have the RC connection and the S1 connection. That means the NAS connection is created. So at that time, the NAS layer, this signaling, it can transmit directly. It will not trigger one RC signaling. But it will contain in the RC layer. But the RC layer will not process it. will not process it. Yeah, in our signaling, when we talk about the signaling, I will show you the different signaling radio barriers. The signalings also transmitted by the radio barrier. Our barrier have two kinds: one data radio barrier, one signaling radio barrier. So all the radio barriers, it will transmitted contained in the RC, but the RC for the NAS signaling is a special RC. It's just contained in the RC, but we don't process it. We don't process it, but it will contain. We can think RC is just a box. It's a box. I only locate it in the box, but I don't process it. You know. If we have a NAS signaling, it's first around the RC, but the RC is only a box. I only put it on the box to transmit it because I need to go through the input B side, but I will not process it. And when the signaling arrived at the input B side, I just get this message from the box, and I will deliver it to the MME directly. I will not read the information. I just look at it, put it in the box, and get it from the box. So the RC, you can think, is just a box, just a container. Yeah. Now this is the protocol introduction.
What is different between the RS connection request in this AS signaling and the RS connection request between the FUE to the connection to the making call or this connection to connect to internet?
Slow. Okay, again.
What is different the RS connection request between in signaling process and RS connection between the UE when you connect to?
That's it.
Yes.
That's it. Yeah. For no matter for RC or for the NAS, the RC connection, that's it. There is no difference. This is just the connection. We can say it's just a channel. It's just a channel. I don't consider what will transmit in this channel, but we will define different channels. The NAS signaling goes through a different channel, but its connection is the same one. The connection is just the connection is just the control. It's a control. But for the NAS signaling and the RC signaling is the exact information.
Fantastic.
The exact information are different. So in the connection, it will have different channels. The exact channels are different, but the connection are same. I will first create a connection. This connection will save. But in this connection, I will create different barriers, different signaling barriers. For NAS layer and RC signaling, they use different layers, different barriers. So we will use different barriers. Okay, I introduce it now. For the signaling, we have three kinds. Yes? For signaling, we have three kinds. We think, okay, we have two kinds. One is RC signaling, one is NAS signaling. Just two kinds, right? So no matter data or signaling we transmitted by the air interface, we need to create a barrier. So the connection, when we talk about the connection is for the control layer. It's for the control plane. But for the data and the signalings is the exact information. It will transmit by the barrier. When we talk about the user plane, even the signaling we transmit, we also need to use create the barrier. But the barrier are different from the data. So we name it radio barrier. Between the UE and the input B, the radio barrier we totally have three kinds. One is the SRB0, another is SRB1, another is SRB2, another is DRB. So the RB is the meaning of radio barrier. The S is signaling. The D is data. So if we want to transmit a WhatsApp message, it will go through the DRB. If you want to transmit an RC connection request, it will use the SRB. But all the channels is a different barrier. But because we have different signaling, so we define different barriers. A different signaling, they use different barriers. For SRB0, is a default barrier. It's a default barrier. That means before we don't create the RC connection, because you should first send the request. You send the request, but you don't have the barrier. You don't have the resource, right? You don't have one dedicated. So I give you a default. You don't have the connection, but you need somewhere to transmit it. So I give you a default first. So this is default one. So every UE use the same one. Yeah, it's default, SRB0. We don't need to create it, it's default. But once we finish the RC connection, yeah, we know the connection is every UE, the connection are different. Every UE it will have its self-connection, right? So after that, we will create the SRB1 and SRB2. The SRB1 is the first one. And the first one, it will transmit the RC signaling. And the SRB2, it is used to transmit the NAS signaling. So if we transmit a NAS signaling, we will use SRB2. If we transmit an RC signaling, we will transmit SRB1. They use different, but the connection are same. The connection are same. They are different. This is the barrier. This is the connection. Now, it's okay? Okay. But it have more details. I will introduce tomorrow. More details. Okay. We can first have a tea break.
Very smart product.
Disimpan saat stop semua. Cuma 1 jam doang. Gue cuma 1 menit doang.